2009 and then took 18 months to design and build a replica of the Oval Office. The husband wanted a downstairs man cave, and as a joke, their architect suggested, well, you know, why don't you put the Oval Office down there?
Why not?
The house sits on more than 10 acres of land, includes a recording studio and an indoor saltwater pool. The price tag, as you might imagine here, $2.79 million.
That's quite a house without the Oval Office.
Hey, that's what I was thinking, is like burying the lead there for
enough cash for that, but
no, not me. Maybe, you know, maybe everybody's in the newsroom right now.
The entire Morgan Murphy media.
Yeah,
perhaps.
exactly.
All right,
exactly.
That's our time for now. Thanks for watching. News 3 Now at 5 starts right now.
And right now, General Motors a step closer to ending a union workers' strike. We'll hear from Rock County residents who are on the picket line in Indiana.
And Madison residents are hopeful a new feature can help reduce noise from blaring. Train horns will take you to the quiet zone.
From the Channel3000.com Alert Center, this is News 3 Now at 5.
And thanks for staying with News 3 Now. General Motors has reached a tentative deal with union leaders that could bring an end to a month-long strike.
That's big news for more than 40,000 workers across the country, including close to 100 from southern Wisconsin who have refused to work until this deal is done. Adam Duxter is live from the picket line in Fort Wayne, Indiana, with how this is impacting families in Rock County tonight. Adam?
Yeah, well, Eric and Danica, as you mentioned, despite that tentative deal between General Motors and the UAW, thousands of workers across the country, including right here in Fort Wayne, Indiana, at Lot 2 of their general plant, are still striking tonight, right where I'm standing, right here, right now. Now, a couple of weeks ago, we profiled a Rock County family who is still commuting here to Fort Wayne every week and returning home to Janesville area on the weekends. Now, today, a half dozen more have made the trek from Janesville to Indiana to fill their picket duty. And those who they work with say, well, it's not easy. It's still making an impact, especially in Rock County.
Those folks that are traveling back and forth, they're taking the money that they've made here back to that community. So they're still spending in Janesville, in Edgerton, in Milton, in all the smaller communities. So it's not that all of their efforts are being done here in Fort Wayne or in Indiana. They're taking that back home.
Now, leaders from General Motors and the UAW are expected to meet tomorrow in Detroit, Michigan, to go over that tentative plan. And should they both agree on that plan, it would then go to the entire union for a vote. And a simple majority passing of that vote could mean the ending of the strike. And again, today is day 31 of that strike. Now, I was talking to the UAW vice president up here about when that would mean people would get back to work, and he said it's still up in the air. It could be sometime as early as next week or as late as the week after that. But again, that tentative deal passed earlier today.
All right, Adam Duxter reporting from Indiana for us today. Thank you so much, Adam.
Thanks, Adam. Cool for the next few days. Let's get a look at your first alert weather. Meteorologist Dave Caulfield joining us. He's on the weather pad. He looks better here than it does in Fort Wayne, Dave.
Yeah, that's for sure. We got some nice surprise sunshine throughout this Wednesday. Still mostly cloudy for most of the day, and that breeze didn't do us any favors, at least as to how it felt outside. But we will be getting slightly milder as we get into this weekend. Visible cloud track is showing those partly sunny skies still out there across southern Wisconsin. We did see some nice breaks in the clouds throughout the day. Madison on the WISC-TV Skycam. Plenty of blue sky showing up right now. Those temperatures are in the low 50s and upper 40s across southern Wisconsin, and that wind is starting to relax. Still out of the northwest, but now in the order of about 10 miles per hour, and really not looking at any severe gusts at this point. Just about 20 to 25 miles per hour closer to Lake Michigan. So that wind continues to relax this evening. Temperatures will fall into the 40s and eventually the mid-30s tomorrow, so some frost is possible under mostly clear skies, and we'll see plenty of sunshine tomorrow. Those temperatures in the lower to middle 50s. We'll talk about some milder air in town for the weekend, plus some chances for showers returning in your first alert forecast.
All right, Dave, thank you so much. We are hoping for a calmer evening commute after a jackknifed semi on John Nolan Drive backed up traffic on the Isthmus during rush hour this morning. And this happened right around 8:45 this morning, south of Broome Street, and traffic had to be rerouted. The scene was cleared before noon. One minor injury was reported. State Patrol is still investigating. An Edgerton family and pets are safe after escaping a fire at their home last night. The fire chief there says the fire broke out in the laundry room of the house. Firefighters were able to extinguish it quickly, but there was extensive smoke damage in other rooms of the home. The family is displaced while the damage is being cleaned up. They're staying with relatives.
The Dane County judge has evicted a so-called Rastafarian church from a space in downtown Madison. The Lion of Judah House of Rastafari opened, you'll recall, back in March. The city of Madison then sent a cease and desist letter in April, and then the Dane County Narcotics Task Force raided the site at 555 West Mifflin in May. But they reopened in July, saying they should be allowed to have marijuana there based on their religious beliefs. The building owner called it a public nuisance, saying they violated the lease. They wanted them evicted. Today, Judge Stephen Elke agreed. In Washington, President Trump and his allies are slamming Democrats over how they're conducting the impeachment inquiry.
The Vice President, Pentagon, Office of Management and Budget, and the president's personal attorney, Rudy Giuliani, are all refusing to comply with congressional subpoenas, calling the impeachment inquiry baseless and illegitimate because it hasn't been approved by the full House. The inquiry continues today with former State Department employee Kurt Volker, that is, returning for a surprise appearance with congressional investigators.
I heard he was here. He may be here to review his transcript. If he's coming back for additional testimony, that seems a little out of the ordinary.
Republicans demanded to see transcripts of interviews House committees have conducted, but those requests were denied. They're filing a censure motion against Congressman Adam Schiff at this time. The House of Representatives has approved a resolution opposing the Trump administration's move to withdraw U.S. forces from Syria. That vote was 354 to 60. The resolution states that an abrupt withdrawal of U.S. military personnel from certain parts of northeast Syria is beneficial to adversaries of the U.S. government, including Syria, Iran, and Russia. The measure has bipartisan support in both the House and the Senate.
More local news now. Living near railroad crossings can be quite noisy.
And that is why East Side neighbors say they are thrilled to see the city of Madison designate a new area where trains are not required to blow their horns. Rose Schmidt is live from Corey Street to show us the new quiet zone. Rose?
So this area from Corey Street to Wabisa Street and beyond is now designated as a quiet zone after neighbors pushed alders to find their money to upgrade this railroad crossing. And just a few hours ago, city workers were out here actually installing flashing lights and gates as part of that upgrade. Trains are required to blow their horns at every railroad crossing unless it's a quiet zone. But this new upgrade means they only have to sound their horns in an emergency. Neighbors tell me the horns constantly wake them up in the middle of the night.
I think it's been a neighborhood-wide issue for quite a long time, and we're really thankful to the alders to get some of these upgrades happening. I think they're doing some down the next block down as well, which will be wonderful once those go in.
The city says there are 85 at-grade railroad crossings in Madison, and 26 of those have the required equipment for a quiet zone. Most have been funded through TIF and general obligation debt. So you might be asking, why isn't every railroad crossing being designated as a quiet zone? Well, the answer is that the city says it costs about $250,000 to make these upgrades. So not everyone can be upgraded like this one because they just don't have the money to do so.
All right, interesting. Rose Schmidt reporting from the east side of Madison. Thank you so much, Rose. New at 5, the Madison School District is notifying parents about 2 referenda questions that could be on the ballot in 2020. One of those is a facilities referendum that would put $70 million toward renovations at each of the 4 high schools and a possible new elementary school in the Rimrock area to help underserved students there. The other is an operating referendum for a variety of student programming, as well as attracting and retaining high-quality teachers. The district is accepting feedback over the next couple of months. The Wisconsin Supreme Court has agreed today to hear a case to dramatically scale back the ability of governors to change the intent of lawmakers through partial budget vetoes. Now, the leader of the Wisconsin Institute for Law and Liberty that brought the case says the court agreed to take it scaling back the usual process of working up through lower courts. Now the lawsuit seeks to overturn Governor Evers' 78 partial vetoes, arguing he improperly and unlawfully used his broad constitutional powers to create new laws never approved by the legislature.
Governor Evers has signed a bill that extends health insurance for immediate survivors of police officers and EMS workers killed in the line of duty. The governor said in a statement that ensuring survivors have coverage is the least officials can do for fallen officers and emergency medical workers. The bill requires the state, municipalities, and universities cover premiums for spouses and for children of officers who die in the line of duty. Coverage will last until spouses turn 65 and children turn 26. The state will reimburse municipalities for that cost. City of Middleton leaders are asking residents to take a survey about the search for the next police chief there. They want residents to share what types of traits and characteristics are important in a chief. Middleton Police Chief Chuck Folk is retiring at the beginning of next year after more than 30 years of public service. You can find a link to participate in that survey at channel3000.com.
Governor Tony Evers has ordered U.S. and Wisconsin flags to be flown at half-staff this Friday in honor of former state representative Joseph Tregonin. That is, he passed away last Thursday at 78 years old. The representative served as the state representative in Southwest Wisconsin for 23 years. A funeral service will be held this Saturday in Shullsburg. Today, protesters were out in front of the Wisconsin State Medical Board to bring attention to how the opioid crisis is impacting chronic pain patients. Last week, the Department of Health and Human Services published new guidances for doctors who are considering changing a patient's opioid dosage. Those help doctors know when it's appropriate to taper patients off opioids and how to do it safely. Ralliers say the number of chronic pain patients abusing opioids, though, is less than 6%.
We know that we're going to be sick with an incurable disease for the rest of our life. And this is a medication that allows us to have some quality of life. Are you crazy enough to abuse that medication? No.
According to the National Institute on Drug Abuse, Wisconsin providers wrote about 52 opioid prescriptions for every 100 persons in 2017. That was among the lowest prescribing rates in the entire country.
Still ahead at 5, an environmentally friendly Madison cab service going a step further now. Why Green Cab is going all electric with a new fleet of Teslas.
And tonight at 6, after a 5-1 start, the Green and Gold are looking ahead to their next game against the Raiders on Sunday. We will hear from head coach Matt LaFleur coming up.
And on Wall Street in midweek trading, the Dow loses almost 23 points. The Nasdaq off 24.5, while the S&P dropped a half dozen. We'll be right back.
As Wisconsin aims to be carbon neutral by the year 2050, an area company is making a change to help.
Yeah, soon Green Cab will be one of the nation's first taxi companies with an entire fleet of Teslas. Madeline O'Neill joins us now with what you can expect with that change. Maddie?
Well, you might be wondering about fares. They won't go up because of this, but by around the end of the year, Green Cab's hybrid Priuses will be replaced by the all-electric Tesla Model 3s. It's part of a partnership with the local tech startup Zerology, which aims to accelerate eco-friendly transportation. Green Cab says the cars have the latest technology and safety features, including voice commands. The announcement today comes with support from Madison's deputy mayor and Wisconsin's lieutenant governor.
As my office focuses on the issues and the core principles of equity and of sustainability, and with my responsibility overseeing that work in the newly created Office of Sustainability and Clean Energy, these are the exact type of efforts that we love to see, and we hope to continue to see them replicated all across the state of Wisconsin.
Green Cab will also be building a solar car charging station at its home base. You'll start seeing Teslas on the road starting October 23rd, with 30 to 40 of them rolling out by the end of the year. And coming up at 6, we'll show you a ride along inside the Teslas.
All right, looking forward to that. Maddie O'Neill reporting. Maddie, thank you.
Speaking of sustainability, a new exhibit is putting a different spin on what's known as environmental art. That exhibit is called Plastic Entanglements. It's over at the Chazen Museum of Art on the UW campus. Instead of creating art with paintbrush or pencil, artists created works made out of plastic and other wasted materials. The director over at the museum says not all the pieces are made out of plastic. They all, however, encourage you to think about how you use plastic in your everyday lives.
Some of those things are really negative. Some of them that you see in the exhibition involve understanding how much we discard on a daily basis that takes, in some cases, thousands of years to break down.
And thanks to a grant from environmental groups, all bus transportation is free for local schools and community groups to check out this exhibition.
All right, let's get a look at your first alert weather. Meteorologist Dave Caulfield has your forecast. Dave?
Eric, it was a windy Wednesday across southern Wisconsin. I know I ran out of product just trying to get my hair to cooperate today. And you can see why, with maximum wind gusts of about 30 to 40 miles per hour across southern Wisconsin. Milwaukee, the big winner, with 40-mile-per-hour gusts. And we really had some strong gusts near Lake Michigan, and that is on the west side, but also on the east side, creating some giant waves across portions of Indiana and into Michigan as well. So just seeing those videos today was pretty stunning. Visible cloud track with this low pressure system that continues to slowly move to the east. We did have a fair amount of cloud cover today, but also a nice surprise, a little bit more sunshine than expected. Our time lapse in Madison, we definitely started out with all those clouds, but check out that sun. Won't be denied on this Wednesday. And we're actually looking at, we'll call it partly sunny skies, but some mostly sunny skies across portions of southern Wisconsin. Here's our look in Madison on the Edgewater Skycam. Today's high did actually make it into the low 50s, still a little bit below normal for this time of year. We typically would see temperatures, at least for highs, near 60 degrees and starting off a little bit above normal with those clouds this morning. Temperatures right now in the low 50s still in Madison, 54 in Janesville, down to 47 over the last couple of minutes in Platteville, and 50 in Boscobel and Lone Rock. Now, October temperatures in Madison, we're going to end up in another blue square today, but we started off the month with a lot of above normal temperature days. But the last week or so, we've been a little bit chilly across southern Wisconsin. Temperatures are going to gradually get milder, especially into this weekend. I think those low 60s will return for Friday, Saturday, and Sunday. Really, the next couple of days will be very nice. Some nice typical fall weather tomorrow, and then a little bit on the milder side for the weekend. The only drawback is on Saturday. There may be a couple of showers here and there. Don't think it will be a washout, but something that we need to pay attention to. And unfortunately, with the wind today, the fall color report, even though it is showing a lot more spots, especially across southern Wisconsin, getting closer to peak, I hope that wind didn't take a lot of those leaves off of the trees, but it will start to get closer to peak in Dane County and Madison by this weekend and into the beginning part of next week. So that's something to keep in mind. Some nice weather to go on a leaf watching hunt, if you will, this weekend potentially. Temperatures in the mid-30s, so there could be some patchy frost as we get into the overnight hours as temperatures fall under partly cloudy skies into the mid-30s to start off Thursday. Then we're in the lower to middle 50s for Thursday afternoon. Good amount of sunshine tomorrow, so that's good news. And then plenty of sunshine on Friday as well. We get a southerly wind on the backside of this high pressure system. That helps us warm up back into the low 60s for Friday. And the 60s stick around for Saturday and Sunday. I think a potentially more robust system is on the way for Sunday night and through Monday and maybe even into Tuesday at points that could provide about a half an inch to an inch of rain across southern Wisconsin. We'll keep a close eye on that as temperatures get into the low 50s once again by the middle of next week. Now let's take a look at your first alert traffic update. Taking a live look at Todd Drive, we're seeing a little bit of slow go in both directions. There has been an accident that popped up on the belt line close to Verona Road, so that is causing some delays in both directions, so keep that in mind. Westbound John Nolan to Verona Road is running a little bit slow, 12 minutes, average speed of around 20 miles per hour, and some other routes in and around Madison not looking too bad. Northbound downtown to Sun Prairie on 151, that's 18 minutes with an average speed right around 30 miles per hour. That's your first alert traffic update.
All right, Dave, thanks. Next at 5, a London security company is testing whether social media companies are listening to conversations through our smartphones. The latest. Stay with us. Florida has become the latest state to announce it's looking into potential problems with e-cigarettes and vaping companies, starting an investigation of more than 20 companies. It comes as the principal deputy director of the Centers for Disease Control testified on Capitol Hill that its investigation into serious lung illness continues around the clock. A new study released today in the journal Cancer Prevention Research suggests possible connection between the chemicals propylene glycol and glycerin and increased inflammation of the lungs.
Employees with the Madison Masonic Center say scammers are using their facility to trick people into making donations. Madison Police says that someone has fabricated a nonprofit organization called Safe Space Relief and is promoting a dinner fundraiser for that group at the center. The cost is to attend, that is $250 a couple. Donations are being made online. No date is listed for the actual dinner on that fake site. The manager says someone even pirated an old menu from the Masonic Center, which is part of the dinner promotion. Many people believe social media companies are spying on our conversations and targeting ads based on what we say out loud.
But is it really happening? A British security company is trying to get to the bottom of it, and Cindy Palm reports from London.
Yvette Shapiro was recently on a family vacation in Virginia.
I said to my husband, our phone's listening to us.
They were discussing how comfortable their mattress was. Yvette says soon after, ads for mattresses appeared on her Facebook feed.
Find that a little invasive, a bit creepy, and certainly unwelcome.
You can find plenty of similar claims online. Am I paranoid, or is Facebook secretly listening in? I'm 100% convinced Instagram uses the microphone to eavesdrop. Another user questions, where is the line?
To be clear,
Facebook CEO Mark Zuckerberg shot down the suggestion when he testified before Congress last year.
Yes or no, does Facebook use audio obtained from mobile devices to enrich personal information about its users?
no.
To find out who's right, a security company here in London put our phones to the test.
We don't believe that they are spying.
London firm Wandera did a 3-day experiment. They played pet food commercials for 30 minutes with a smartphone in the room.
You'll see the difference in your dog.
They left another cell phone in a silent room next door.
We weren't able to discern any kind of noticeable difference.
Instead, the firm's CEO believes our online activity reveals more to tech giants than we realize.
Advertising algorithms can figure out exactly through the searches that we do what we're interested in, and then they target those adverts to us.
But people like Yvette are still not convinced.
I don't see why they wouldn't be doing this because, you know, it's such an obvious moneymaker.
Whether suspicion or fact, it's unlikely to keep most people off their smartphones. Cindy Palm, CBS News, London.
Researchers at Northeastern University in Boston studied 17,000 Android apps last year. They found there was no evidence of conversations being spied on, but a handful of apps were taking screenshots of what people were doing.
And stay with us. We'll have one final check of your forecast in just a moment.
Finally at 5, the iconic bourbon brand Jim Beam is inviting people to stay on its distillery grounds for just $23 a night.
Yeah, that's the cost of a bottle of black bourbon. The company said it wanted to give customers a chance to live like the 7 generations of master distillers. The 3-bedroom Kentucky home was built back in 1919. It has a fully stocked bar, as you just saw, and it has a backyard with a fire pit. You can request to stay at the house through Airbnb, and it includes a distillery tour, bourbon tasting, and a good old-fashioned Southern barbecue.
Worth it.
Not bad.
Yeah, it's for $23 a night.
Kind of a cool-looking place.
It is. Very cool.
Dave's back. Final check as we look at the forecast.
Was it 23 or was it 2,300?
It better not be $23
$23 a night is what I'm reading.
I heard 100.
They expect you to buy a lot of libations.
Yeah, there it is. Yeah, your bill will kind of go up a little bit. Temperatures are going up a little bit over the next couple of days. Right now we're in the low 50s in Madison. It will be a pretty pleasant evening, although temperatures will crash into the 40s and mid-30s to start off tomorrow. Could be some frost, but the 60s return this weekend.
All right, Dave, thanks. We're back in 30 minutes for News 3 Now at 6. Stay tuned now for the CBS Evening News with Nora O'Donnell.